You are listening to a TechSide Network podcast, TechSide.net, casual conversation from technically passionate people.
This is Americanitis, Episode 12, Listener Question, Covid-19 and Irrationality, for March 21st, 2020. I'm your host, Daniel Sagner. This podcast contains harsh language and covers adult topics. You'll be challenged by views with which you do not agree. We may not be politically correct, but we are correct about politics. A listener feedback episode. How exciting. There's a bit more swearing in this one, so if that's not your thing, you know what to do. Still with me? I have had a fucking rough week, folks, and I'm certain most of you have too. This rant is a bit of a catharsis. As an added benefit, you may be entertained. Juno asked me to talk about the role of panic and irrationality surrounding the virus. You see, this virus doesn't worry me, but the people do. I talk a lot about the efficacy of human reason, but panic is a hell of a drug.
People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
The Fourth Estate is having a fucking field day with this one, and why wouldn't they? This is what they were born for. It doesn't benefit them to tell you that everything is fine and under control, or to give you facts that contradict the idea that this is the next plague. They sell eyeballs, and screaming from the rooftops that the sky is falling gets you to pay attention. There's also the added benefit that any public dissatisfaction at the moment reflects on the president who, I don't have to tell you, they don't like very much. These worthless opportunists who would be living in a cave if it weren't for their betters have you wrapped around their finger from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. But the media entertainment industrial complex is not the only group riding high on the wave of confusion and pandemonium. Right on their coattails are the very people we ushered into office to supposedly protect our rights and uphold the Constitution. Unfortunately, due to the shortage of toilet paper, they've used our founding documents to wipe their asses. Anything goes in an emergency, right? There's a saying that you should never waste a crisis. What they mean by that is that people are more easily manipulated into betraying their own interests during an emergency. That's how we ended up with, among other things, the saccharinely named Patriot Act. This works because you perceive a threat to your life, be it real or imagined, and you feel the need to remove that threat, no matter the cost. No matter the cost is the issue, though. Looking to the state for protection inescapably comes with a very high cost. They'll take the emergency powers, sure, but just ask Papa Sith if they'll be willing to give them back.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
Backed against a wall, people don't think clearly. This is how you get these contradictory blatherings spilling out of Twitter and even passers-by on the street who aren't thinking long enough to realize that what they're saying doesn't track. I hear people in one sentence say, the feds are really fucking up this response, and then in the next breath, if this proves anything, it's that we need Medicare for all. Well, which is it, Sally? Is daddy government always going to be there to protect you, or can you not trust him long enough to go out to the store for scratchers? There might be one silver lining, and that is that our duly elected foreheads are finally showing their true colors. Surprise! They bleed so red they might as well be sworn in on a copy of Das Kapital. It didn't even take a week for them to start chipping away at things like freedom of assembly, the right to self-defense, even property rights. This is moving a bit fast for me. Generally, I like to be courted before getting fucked, but I guess I need to get good with hookup culture. Champaign, Illinois had a rude awakening on Friday when their mayor decided that liberty is a silly relic of the past. Calling them emergency provisions, the mayor declared herself judge, jury, and executioner when she wrote into law some alarming powers. Let's see what the executive order allows for in small part. Banning the sale of firearms and ammunition, banning the sale of gasoline, direct shutoff of power, water, gas, etc., and take possession of private property and obtain the full title thereto. The local news network ran with this story because you know the big guys aren't going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Let's hear what he found. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for all this, right?
Now, also listed in this document here that the council voted on is the ability to need to ration gas, food, and clothing, along with banning the sale and distribution of alcohol and firearms. The mayor did say she is not using these powers. I asked the mayor why these powers were even needed then. Why do you need all these powers? Why do you need to be able to close bars? Why do you need to be able to shut down streets? Why do you need to be able to take over people's homes? Like, why do you need all those? Why not just the ones that are, directly related to this virus?
So many of those powers I've had from the very beginning. All we've done is enumerate them, and now the public's aware of them. So I am the liquor commissioner. I can shut down bars yesterday. I could have shut them down 2 years ago. Nothing has changed with respect to that. It's just that we've laid it out so people are aware of it. With respect to the other items that are listed in the attachment, they've been part of the city code for 15 years.
See? It's all right. She always had the ability to curtail your liberties without any due process. She's just letting you know she can. The mugger always had the gun. Just wanted to jab you in the ribs with it a little bit. She's not going to use it, though. So they can strip you of your ability to defend yourself, shut off your power, and then take your home away from you because some people are sick.
It smells like freedom in here.
Champaign Mayor Deborah Frank Finan is not the only tin pot dictator out there, you understand. She's just the only one dumb enough to say it out loud, and with such obvious disdain for her constituents. But you might be saying, Daniel, this isn't communism. This is fascism. It's equally bad, but totally different. Yeah, fair, I hear you. I guess no one's actually out there calling for the nationalization of the means of production.
Here's the reality. This is a war-like situation. We're in a wartime scenario with a Mar-a-Lago attitude being used by the federal government, right? It's so laid back, and I don't understand it. And by the way, testing, how about ventilators? Where is the federal government making sure that our hospitals have the ventilators we're going to need? Where is the federal government when it comes to surgical masks, getting them distributed where they need? This is a case for a nationalization, literally a nationalization of crucial factories and industries that could produce the medical supplies to prepare this country for what we need.
Well, my days of not taking de Blasio seriously are certainly coming to a middle. In case you think he's just using some fancy words he heard at a dinner party, rest assured he's elbow deep in this Marxist horseshit. This jackwagon held a fucking press conference to show off New York State clean hand sanitizer. You can't make this stuff up. Well, you can, but it usually ends up in the dustbin at SNL because it's too ridiculous. At one point, de Blasio talks about its floral bouquet, for Christ's sake. I'm not even going to link to the NBC video. I'll link to my good buddy Diego, who does an excellent takedown of this clown show line by line. Yeah, okay, maybe this is fascism too, but who fucking cares? It's two sides of the same coin. Either the government controls the business or owns the business. Either way, the answer should be the same. Go screw. And these are just the ways they are eager to fuck you physically. But you better be lubing up your wallet now, because they're going in dry with a foot-long stimulus package, and that's just for the first course. They created this crisis with their lockdowns, shelter-in-place orders, shutdowns of restaurants, the list goes on. But I'll tell you a dirty little secret. The government is force. It's a gun. You can destroy with a gun, but have you ever tried to build something with one? Dig a trench? Lay bricks? My point is that while the state can quite effectively destroy, it cannot create. It can make your life hard, but it can't make it easy. It can ruin the economy, but the only way for it to nurture the market is to remove itself entirely. So now the state has fucked you right out of a job and you're worried that you can't pay your rent? Well, what are they going to do about it? As of March 18th, as I'm writing this, at least one bill was passed to the tune of $1 trillion, containing bailouts for various industries as well as checks being sent directly to citizens. Who in the shit do you think is going to be paying for these cash gifts, you dingleberries? No matter what way you slice it, it's coming out of your hide. Whether they print the cash, destroying your savings, tax the shit out of you, destroying your buying power, or introduce some new eat-the-rich tax scheme, destroying investment, the buck is always passed to the individual producer. You know that guy?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Here's what I'm getting to. The wealth that we enjoy is not a mistake. It's not without cause. It's only possible in a country that protects the individual rights of its citizens and otherwise leaves them the hell alone. The degree to which they interfere with bailouts, regulations, incentives, and monetary policy is the degree to which progress is stunted. You cannot count on a scared animal to act with reason. This is why we need an ironclad constitution, and a populace that knows whence their rights come. We need the right philosophy. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. The right philosophy is objectivism. I truly believe that no matter how many shots we take broadside as a country, we can still make it out alive if these ideas are taken even halfway seriously. So, stay calm, call your Congress critters, call your local reps. Don't tell them that you want a handout or free housing or debt forgiveness. Tell them that you want your fucking freedom. Send them copies of Atlas Shrugged until they get the message. Get the hell out of my way. Got a topic or feedback? Reach out on Twitter. I'm at AmericanitisTech. That's the @ American, ITISTEK. Please subscribe via Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts if podcasts are your thing. I'm also on YouTube. Patronize us at patreon.com/techside. Show notes are at techside.net/Americanitis. Outro music is Crying in the Delta Wind by Mother Pluckin' Bee. I thank you all for listening. Later days.